The sky above New Seattle was soft pink, like the inside of a seashell. Rain tapped gently on the window, just like it always did in the spring. Maya sat on her bed, hugging her knees, staring at a photo on her tablet. It showed two girls laughing. On a beach, arms around each other, hair wild in the wind. One was Maya, the other was Lena. Lena had moved to Mars 2 years ago. It wasn't her fault. Her parents got jobs at the Mars terraforming station, and the whole family had to go. At first, they talked every day, video calls, silly messages, shared playlists. But Mars was far, really far. Even with fast signals, there was a delay. A few seconds might not sound like much, but when you're telling a joke and the other person laughs 3 seconds too late, it feels off. Then life got busy. Lena started school at the Mars Dome Academy. Maya stayed on Earth, joining a robotics club, helping her little brother with homework, growing taller, changing. The calls got shorter, then weekly, then monthly. Now it had been over 3 months since they last spoke. Maya missed her not. Just in a "I wish she was here" way. It was deeper, okay? Like a quiet hum in her chest, like the low sound of wind through trees at night. She missed Lena's laugh. The way she always said, wait, let me finish, and telling a story. How she remembered Maya's favorite flavor of tea, peppermint, with a drop of honey sometimes. Maya would start typing a message. Hey, how are you? But then she'd stop. What if Lena didn't reply? What if she had new friends? What if she'd forgotten? She didn't know how to fix it. It wasn't like a broken robot you could take apart and fix with a screwdriver. Feelings weren't like that. You couldn't just update the software. One rainy afternoon, Maya walked to the old community center. It was where they'd built their first robot together, little rolling bot with wobbly wheels, and a voice that said, "Hello, world," in 5 languages. The place was quiet now. Dust sat on the workbenches. But in the corner, their bot still sat on a shelf, battery long dead. Maya picked it up. Its plastic shell was cracked, one wheel missing. She smiled. "You were kind of a mess," she whispered. Then she noticed something. Taped to the bot's back was a small note, faded and wrinkled. In Lena's messy handwriting, it read, "No robot is too broken, just needs the right person to believe in it." Maya's eyes stung. She sat down, pulled out her tablet, and opened the messaging app. Her fingers hovered over the screen. Her heart beat fast. Then she started typing. "Hey Lena, I found our old robot today. It's broken, but I think I can fix it. I saved all the parts. I even found a new motor at the recycling lab. I was wondering if you'd want to help. We could do it together. I know it's not the same as being there, but maybe we could video call while I work. Like old times, I miss you. Not because you left, but because you're still my best friend. I don't want to lose that love." Mayashi stared at the message. Read it again. Her thumb hovered over send. What if Lena didn't care anymore? Then she remembered the note. Just needs the right person to believe in it. Maya took a breath. She pressed send. Then she waited. The rain kept falling. The city hummed. Minutes passed, then dash ping. A message. And not just any message. It was a video call request. Maya gasped. Her hands shook as she answered. On the screen appeared Lena. Her hair was shorter. She wore a Mars Academy hoodie. But her eyes bright, warm, familiar, lit up the moment she saw Maya. "Maya," she said, her voice cracking with joy. "You found him. I thought he was gone forever." Maya laughed, wiping her eyes. "I found him, and I found this note you left," Lena smiled. "I wrote that the day before I left. I was scared you'd forget me." "I could never," Maya said softly. Lena leaned closer. "Can I help you fix him? Right now?" Maya nodded, holding up the broken robot. "Only if you tell me all. The crazy things you've done on Mars." And so, across 225 million kilometers of space, 2 girls sat together, not in the same room. Not even on the same planet, but side by side in spirit. One on Earth, one on Mars. One fixing a robot. the other guiding her through every wire and screw as they worked. Laughter filled the silence between the stars. And in that moment, the distance didn't matter, because humanity, even when apart, knows how to connect. It knows how to reach. It knows how to care. Even when it's hard. This is HFY, not loud battles or giant ships, but a girl on Earth. A girl on Mars, and a broken robot coming back to life, because someone remembered, because someone tried, because love, even across worlds, is stronger than silence. And as the robot's little eyes flickered to life, saying in a glitchy voice, "Hello," rolled both girls whispered together. "Welcome back." Asterisk every morning, Tom walked past the old oak tree at the edge of Miller Park. It stood alone now, its branches stretching wide like arms waiting for a hug. Carved into its bark, deep and clear, were two names, Tom and Jock's best friends forever. Jock's had moved to Canada a year ago. Not far, really not compared to other places, but far enough. They weren't kids anymore. Jock's dad got a new job, and the family packed up in just 2 weeks. Tom remembered the last day Jock's handing him a small wooden bird, hand-carved and painted blue. "So you don't forget me," he'd said, trying to smile. "If you ever feel lonely, just look at it. I'm somewhere breathing the same air." Tom kept the bird on his windowsill. Every night he saw it silhouetted against the city lights, but the messages stopped. At first, they texted every day, then once a week, then only on birthdays. Didn't know why. Maybe Jock's made new friends. Maybe life got loud. Or maybe Tom thought he just wasn't interesting enough anymore. He didn't know how to fix it. He wanted to say, "Hey, I miss you," but the words felt too heavy. What if Jock's didn't feel the same? What if he just replied with a lol or an emoji and nothing else? So Tom stayed quiet, and the quiet grew. One cold Saturday, Tom sat on a bench under the oak tree, watching kids play soccer on the field. His phone buzzed. A school group chat. Everyone sharing memes, making plans. He typed a joke, then deleted it. It didn't feel right. He felt outside. Like he was watching life through a window. He looked at the carved names, best friends forever. The R in forever was fading, worn by rain and time. "Forever doesn't last," he whispered. But then he remembered something Jock's always said. The sky is the same everywhere. If we both look up, we're seeing the same thing. Tom sat up. He pulled a small notebook from his pocket, the one he used for sketches. He flipped to a blank page and began to draw. Not a robot, not a spaceship, just the oak tree, the bench, the soccer field, the city skyline in the distance, and two stick figures sitting side by side, laughing. Under it, he wrote, "I was here today. I sat in our spot. The tree's still strong. So am I. I miss you. Not in a sad way. In a you're part of my story way. If you ever want to talk, I'm here." No pressure, just, "I remember." He didn't send it as a text. Instead, he folded the page into a paper airplane. Then, using a thin strip of blue tape, he taped the little wooden bird to the nose of the plane. A strange idea had come to him. He walked to the top of the hill, where the wind was strongest. He held up the plane. "This is for Jock's," he said quietly, as if the wind could carry his voice across provinces, forests, and cities. "Wherever you are," he threw it. The plane wobbled at first, then caught the breeze. Rising, dancing on the air, before vanishing behind the trees, Tom smiled, not because he expected anything, but because he had done something. He hadn't waited. He hadn't stayed silent. He had reached out his way in his own quiet courage. That night, he left his window open. The wooden bird was gone, but he didn't mind. It had flown. 2 weeks passed. Tom almost forgot about the plane. Life moved on. School chores. A new comic book series. The carved names on the tree still faded a little more each rain. Then one evening, his phone buzzed. Not a text. A call. From a Canadian number. His heart jumped. He answered. "Tom." Came a voice familiar, a little deeper than he remembered, but warm. "It's Jock's." Tom froze. Jocks, hey, hi. There was a pause. Then Jocks laughed softly. You won't believe this. I was walking home from school. Wind blew something right into my backpack. I didn't notice until I opened it. Tom's breath caught. What was it? A paper airplane, the tiny blue bird taped to it, and a drawing of our tree. Tom closed his eyes. The wind had carried it. I read it, Jock said quietly. Every word. I've been busy, but I never stopped caring. I just thought you'd moved on. I didn't, Tom said. I just didn't know how to say it, Jocks exhaled. You just did. And Tom, I kept your birthday card from last year on my wall, with all my important things. They talked for an hour. About school, about snow in Canada, about Tom's mom's terrible lasagna, about how the oak tree probably needed a new carving. Before hanging up, Jock said, We'll figure this, right? Even if it's hard? Yeah, Tom said. We will. And when he looked out the window that night, he saw something taped too. The glass from the outside, another paper airplane inside, sketch of a mountain, a cabin, and 2 stick figures. Under it, next summer, you come here. We hike. We talk. We remember. Tom taped it to his wall. This is HFY. Not loud victories, not grand speeches, but a boy who felt small, who chose to send a message in the wind, who believed quietly. Bravely that connection matters, and another boy, far away, who caught it, held it close and said, I'm still here. Because humanity doesn't give up on each other. Not really. We find ways through paper planes, through memories, through the simple, stubborn hope thought someone, somewhere, is still looking. In the quiet town of Cedar Ridge, there was a small library with red bricks and a creaky wooden floor. It smelled like old paper and rain. This was where Eli used to meet Mira every Saturday. They weren't sisters. They weren't even related. But for 3 years, they were library friends. Myra had moved to Cedar Ridge when she was 12, and on her first day at the library, she sat across from Eli, who was reading a book about stars. She asked, Do you think aliens read books? 2. And just like that, they became a team. Every week, they picked a theme. Pirates, robots, ancient Egypt, underwater cities. They made posters, built models from cardboard, and wrote little stories together. The librarian, Mrs. Lane, hung their work near the children's section. The Mira and Eli Corner, she called it. Then, last winter, Mira's family moved to Scotland not because they wanted to. Her mom got a job helping restore old castles, and they had to go. The goodbye was quick, just a hug and a note. Keep writing stories. I'll read them all. But weeks passed. Then months. Eli kept going to the library every Saturday. He sat in their usual spot by the window. He read books, even started a new project, Cities in the Sky, but it felt empty without Mira's laugh, her wild ideas, the way she always colored the sun purple because it's more interesting. He missed her. Not in a loud way, not with tears, but in a quiet ache, like a song that stops in the middle. He wanted to message her, but every time he opened his phone, he froze. What if she didn't reply? What if she was happy without him? What if their friendship was just for a time? So he stayed silent. One rainy afternoon, Eli was gently tidying the children's shelf when he found an old notebook hidden behind a book on dinosaurs. It was Mira's handwriting. On the first page it said, Rules for good friends: always listen. Never laugh at their ideas. If you're far apart, leave a trail so they can find you. Asterisk. Eli's heart beat fast. Leave a trail. He looked around the library. The Myra and Eli corner was still there, but dusty. Their posters were faded. The robot model had lost an arm, and then he knew. He didn't need a text, didn't need a call. He needed a trail. That night, Eli stayed up late. He took out his best markers, thick paper, and glue, made a new poster bright and bold. At the top it read, Project Sky Cities, by Eli and Mira below. He wrote, We never finished this one, so I'm starting it. Day 1, designing floating farms. Day 2, solar wings. Day 3. A school in the clouds. If you're out there, Mira, I'm still building. I saved you a seat. He added a small sketch of two kids sitting on a cloud reading a book. On Saturday, he brought it to the library and hung it right in the center of their corner. Mrs. Lane smiled. You two are still a team, aren't you? I hope so, Eli said. Week after week, Eli added new pages. A map of Sky City. A list of rules, no homework, unlimited hot chocolate. A drawing of a library in the clouds, just like ours. People noticed. Kids pointed. Parents smiled. One girl even left a note. This is cool? Can I help? Eli said yes. The corner grew. Then one morning, Mrs. Lane handed Eli an envelope, postmarked from Scotland. No return address, but he knew. His hand shook as he opened it. Inside was a letter and a small pressed flower. Dear Eli, I saw a photo online. Someone tagged the library page. There was our corner. And your poster. I cried a little. Don't tell anyone. I've been sad too. Scotland is beautiful, but it's not home. I missed our Saturdays. I missed you. So I asked my mom if I could. Do something. Every month I'll send you a page. A story. A drawing. A piece of Sky City from here. And one day I'm coming back. Not just for a visit. It's for good. You left a trail, Eli, and I followed it. Love, my Rupees. I already designed. The hot chocolate machine. It's pink. Eli read it 3 times. Then he took a fresh sheet of paper. Drew 2 figures, one on a Scottish hill, one in a library connected by a long, winding path of stars. He hung it up with the others. This is HFY, not about grand rescues or loud emotions, but about a boy who believed a poster could be a lifeline, who chose to keep building. Even when he felt alone, who remembered that love doesn't always need words. Sometimes it needs a trail and a girl far away who saw that trail and said, I'm coming, 'cause humanity finds a way. Through letters, through art, through the courage to say, I'm still here. Are you? And in a small library, under a rainy sky, a friendship didn't just survive distance, it grew wings. And one day, very soon, 2 friends would sit by the window again. Laughing, dreaming, building a city in the sky asterisk in the coastal town. Of Seabrook, the wind always carried music. Waves tapped like drums, gulls cried like off-key singers. And every Friday night, in the little community hall, Leo and Nina played music together. Leo played the cello deep, rich notes that sounded like the ocean at night. Nina played the violin bright, fast, like sunlight dancing on water. Weren't professionals, just 2 teens who loved music and found each other in the school orchestra. They practiced every week. Wrote little duets, called them Tide songs. One was called Fog Walk, another Lighthouse Heart. People in town would stop and listen when they played. Outside in the summer, then Nina's family moved to Japan. Her dad got a teaching job in Kyoto. They left in a hurry. No final concert. No goodbye performance. The last thing Nina gave Leo was a small USB drive. My part of our next song, she said. Finish it. And if you ever play it, I'll hear it somehow. Leo smiled, but his heart hurt. After she left, he plugged in the USB. It had a recording of Nina's violin part, just a few minutes long. Soft and sad, like a question with no answer. He tried to write his cello part, but every note felt wrong. Too loud. Too quiet, not right. He stopped playing. Weeks passed. Cello sat in the corner, covered by a cloth. His phone stayed quiet. No messages from Nina. He didn't know if she was busy, happy, or forgot about their music. He missed her, not just her playing, but her laugh between notes, the way she'd say again, this part matters. Now the silence mattered more than the music. One evening, Leo walked down to the pier. The sun was setting, painting the sky in gold and purple. A few kids flew kites. An old man played harmonica. The sound floated over the water, and then it hit Leo. Music travels. Not just through air, through wires, waves, radio, phones. It goes everywhere, and people feel it. No matter where they are, He went home and picked up his cello. Dust covered the strings. He wiped it gently. Then he sat by the window, closed his eyes, and listened to Nina's recording again. This time he didn't fight the sadness. He let it in. Slowly, a new melody came, not happy, not sad, but true. A cello voice answering the violin. A story of missing someone, of waiting, of hope. He recorded it. Then he did something small but brave. He uploaded the duet to a public music site. No fancy title. Just Tide Song No. 7 for Nina. If you're out there, this is for you. He didn't tag her. Didn't message. Just let it go like a message in a bottle. Days passed. Then a week, no one commented. No shares. Leo almost gave up. Then, one quiet morning, his phone buzzed. A notification. Your song has a new comment. He opened it. The comment was short. From a user named Ninumisu_Kyoto. It said, I heard this in a cafe in Kyoto. I was drinking tea. The music came on. I froze. It was our song. I ran outside and looked at the sky and said, Leo, I'm here. Thank you for finishing it. I'm adding a new part, coming soon. Below it was a heart. Leo's eyes filled. He played the song again. This time it didn't sound sad. It sounded like a bridge. 2 weeks later, another upload appeared on the site. Same title. Delayed, but now. A new version. Nina had added a third voice, her violin. Higher this time, joyful. Like a bird returning home, she'd left a note. Duet became a trio. The third voice is hope. Leo smiled. Then he recorded his cello again, this time, faster, brighter. He called it Tide Song No. 8 waiting is over. He kept going. Every month, one of them added something new. A laugh in the recording. A seagull sound. A bell from a Kyoto temple. A wave from Seabrook. People started listening. Then sharing. A teacher played it in a school in Norway. A dancer in Brazil made a video to it, Hospital in Canada played it in the children's ward. It became the song between us. And one summer, Leo got a message. I'm coming home for 3 weeks. Let's play live. On the pier. At sunset, he wrote back. Bring your violin. I've saved you a seat. On the night of the concert, the pier was full.
Not a big crowd, just 50 people holding candles, smiling. And when Leo and Nina played Tide's song, No. 10, the music didn't just float on the air. It floated on something deeper, on memory, on
courage, on the quiet. Strong truth that love doesn't break when people move it, learns new ways to speak. This is HFY. It's not about power, not about winning, but about a boy who used music as a rope. Across the ocean, who believed a song could say, what words couldn't? Who played not for fame, but for her, and a girl far away who heard it, felt it, and played back. Because humanity connects in quiet ways, through art, through patience, through the belief that even when we're apart, we can still make music from the same sky, the same wind, the same heart, and sometimes it's the most powerful thing you can do simply. In the small town of Pine Hollow, there was a backyard garden full of color. Tall sunflowers leaned toward the sky. Fat tomatoes hung like red lanterns. Herbs spilled from old crates, smelling of summer. This was Sam's garden. But it wasn't. Just his. It was his and Rosa's. Rosa had lived next door. She's 10 years old, with dirt on her knees and seeds in her pockets. She called herself Chief Plant Protector. Every morning she'd knock on Sam's back door with a tiny watering can and say, time to check the troops. We planted together, weeded together, celebrated when the first pea popped open. Sam, at 12, was older, but he never minded. Rosa made gardening fun. She talked to the plants, named them, believed the mint had a grumpy personality, and the zucchini was shy but kind. Then Rosa's family moved to Arizona. No warning. Just a quick goodbye one afternoon. We have to go, she said, hugging him tight. Dad got a new job, but all right. She handed him a small clay pot with a single green sprout. It's a sunflower, same kind as ours. Grow it. When it blooms, take a picture. I want to see. Sam promised. At first he did everything right. Watered the sprout. Put it in sunlight. Even talked to it like Rosa did. Don't worry, he'd say. She'll be back. But weeks passed. No letter. No call. Life in Arizona was busy, he guessed. Stopped talking to the plant. Then he stopped watering it. Soon the little sunflower drooped. Leaves turned. Brown Sam covered it with a cloth and pushed it to the back of the shed. The garden felt empty without Rosa's laugh, her messy braids, her belief that every plant had feelings. He missed her, not in a loud way, not with tears, but in small moments when he picked a tomato and had no one to share it with. When it rained and he didn't hear her shout, "Quick, the basil needs cover." He wanted to reach out, send a message. But what could he say? I killed your sunflower. So he stayed quiet. One morning in spring, Sam opened the shed to find tools. Dust floated in the light, and there in the corner, something caught his eye. The sunflower pot. He almost didn't recognize it. The soil was dry, the stem was broken. But at the base stainy green leaves, new growth. Pushing up through the dirt alive, Sam knelt down. It's still trying, he whispered. And in that moment he realized Rosa was still trying to. She had given him this plant not just to grow, but to remember, to care, to hope. He carried the pot outside, gave it water. Fresh soil. A sunny spot beside the tomatoes. Then he did something brave. He took a photo not of a dead plant, but of the new green shoots. He wrote a simple message. Hey Rosa, I almost gave up, but this little guy didn't, just like you wouldn't. Growing it again for both of us. If you ever want to help, I saved a trowel for you. He sent it. Then he waited. Days passed. The sunflower grew stronger. Sam started fixing the garden, planting new seeds, building a trellis for beans. He even named the mint Grumpy, like Rosa did. Sometimes he laughed out loud, pretending she was there. Then, one evening, the doorbell rang. Sam opened it. No one was there, but on the step was a small box. Inside, a packet of sunflower seeds. A note and a tiny toy watering can. The note said, I got your message. I cried. Don't tell anyone, I've been sad too. Arizona's hot and the soil's different, but I started a garden on the balcony. These are seeds from my first sunflower here. Plant them. Let's grow the same flowers, even if we're far apart. And Sam, I never stopped being chief plant protector. I just moved my base of operations. It was signed, Rosa. Sam smiled so wide his cheeks hurt. The next morning, he dug 2 new holes in the garden, planted Rosa's seeds. Watered them gently. Weeks. Past shoots appeared, tall, strong. Reaching for the sun, Sam took a photo. Sent it to her. She sent one back her balcony in Arizona. 2 sunflowers growing in red pots. They started sending updates. My sunflower is 3 feet tall. Mine has buds. Grumpy Mint says hello. One day Rosa called. When I come back, we'll have a sunflower festival with lemonade and music and a badge for every plant. I'll make badges, Sam said. Even for Grumpy. This is HFY. Not about big heroes. Not about saving the world, but about a boy who saw life in a dying plant, who learned that care isn't weakness, it's strength, that trying again is its own kind of courage, and a girl, far away, who never stopped believing in gardens, in friendship, in second chances, because humanity grows. Not just crops, but kindness, hope, love that stretches across states, climates, silence, and sometimes. The most powerful thing in the world is a single green shoot, reaching for the sun and someone who decides, I'll water it today. So the garden grew, and so did they. Side by side, even when miles apart. Rooted in memory, growing toward the light. Asterisk in the quiet mountain town of Frostfield. Winter came early and stayed late. Snow covered the roofs, muffled the roads, and made the world feel soft and still. This was where Ava and Leo grew up, neighbors, classmates, best friends since they were 6. Every year. On the night of the winter festival, they did the same thing. They made paper lanterns, not fancy ones. Just simple, handmade lanterns. With drawings on the sides, dragons, rockets, cats wearing hats. Then they placed them in their front windows, turned off the lights, and waved to each other across the street. It was their signal. I'm here, thinking of you. But last spring, Leo's family moved to Miami. No ocean, no palm trees, no snow. Just sunshine and humidity and a life completely different from Frostfield. At first, they texted, sent pictures. Ava showed him the first snowfall. Leo sent back videos of green lizards on his windowsill. But as months passed, the messages slowed. Holidays came and went. The winter festival was near, but Ava hadn't heard from Leo in over 2 months. She still made her lantern. She drew a snowman, riding a rocket, something they once joked about. But when she placed it in the window, it didn't feel the same. She looked across the street. Leo's house was dark. His family had rented it to strangers who didn't know about the lantern tradition. Ava felt a quiet sadness, not anger. Not blame, just distance, like a phone line with no signal. She missed his laugh. It's the way he always spilled glitter when making lanterns. How he'd say, "This one's for the aliens. Maybe they'll see it and come say hi." She wanted to reach out. But how? Hey, remember our dumb lantern thing? Felt too small, too silly. What if he'd forgotten? So she said nothing. The night of the festival arrived. Snow fell gently. Houses glowed with lights. Ava turned off her lamp, lit her lantern, and sat by the window. The warm glow painted the room in gold. But outside, the world felt quiet, empty then. She had an idea. She pulled out a small notebook and wrote, "Dear Leo, I made my lantern. It has a snowman on a rocket, just like we said. I put it in the window. I don't know if you can see it. But I wanted you to know I kept our tradition alive. Not because I'm sad, but because you're still my friend. And some things are worth keeping, even when people move. Love, Ava." She didn't send it as a text. Instead, she folded the note into the shape of a tiny lantern. Then she taped it to a helium balloon white. Like snow and walked outside. Her mom followed, curious. "What are you doing, sweetheart?" "Sending a message," Ava said. She let go. The balloon rose, slow and steady, into the dark sky. The note dangled beneath it, glowing faintly in the streetlight. Up, up, it went past the rooftops, the trees, the clouds, until it disappeared into the night. "Do you think he'll ever know?" her mom asked. Ava smiled.
I think the universe
"Knows, and maybe that's enough." 2 weeks later, Ava came home from school. Her mom waved her over, eyes wide. "You've got mail from Miami." Ava opened the envelope with shaking hands. Inside was a photo. It showed Leo's bedroom window bright and warm. And in it, a paper lantern. Not fancy. Handmade. With a drawing of a rocket wearing a winter hat, taped to the lantern was a noter. Note, the one from the balloon, and another one underneath. "I saw it on the news. A girl in Colorado sent a balloon with a friendship letter. I tracked it down. I couldn't believe it was you," I cried. "I made my own lantern that night. I'll keep it in my window every winter, no matter where I am. Not silly." "Ava, you're brave, and I'm so lucky to be your friend." Ava read it again. And again, that night, she lit her lantern, and though Leo was hundreds of miles away, under a warm sky with no snow, she knew somewhere. A light was glowing just for her. This is HFY. Not about loud words, not about grand gestures, but about a girl who believed a balloon could carry a heart, who chose hope over silence, who reminded the world that love doesn't need to be close to be real, because humanity connects in quiet, beautiful ways. Through light, through memory, through the courage to send a little glow into the dark and trust that someone, somewhere, will light one back. And so year after year, in Frostfield in Miami, 2 lanterns shine, not side by side, but in the same sky, together in spirit, forever in friendship. In the quiet town of Ridgeview, where the nights were dark and the sky stretched wide, Maya and Eli used to lie on a hill behind the school every summer. They called it Star Time. Eli had a small telescope his grandpa gave him. No. Maya brought a notebook. Together they'd find constellations, make up new ones, and write little stories about them. That one's the lost kitten, Maya once said, pointing to 3 stars in a curve. And that bright one is its mom, calling it home. Eli would laugh. You make the stars feel like friends. He did this for 3 summers, until Eli's family moved to Singapore big city. Bright lights, tall buildings, no quiet hills, no dark skies. At first they messaged. Eli sent photos of the city at night. Maya sent star charts and drawings. But over time, life got busy. Eli joined a robotics club. Maya started helping her little brother with homework. The messages slowed. I stopped. Maya still went to the hill. Every clear night, she brought the notebook. She looked through the telescope. But it felt different. The stars were the same, but the silence beside her was too deep. She missed Eli. Not in a loud way, not with crying, but in the small things, like seeing a shooting star and having no one to whisper, make a wish, to, or finding a new pattern. In the sky, and having no one to say, look, a dancing bear. She wanted to reconnect. But how? Hey, remember the stars? It felt too simple, too small. What if he didn't care anymore? What if he'd forgotten their stories? So she stayed quiet. One night as she stared at the sky, she saw a satellite move slowly across the dark, just a tiny dot of light, steady and calm, and an idea came. We're still under the same sky, she thought. Same stars, same universe, just different views. She opened her notebook and began to write not a message, not a text, but a star letter. She drew a map of the summer sky, marked their favorite constellations, then added a new one. 3 stars in a zigzag. She named it The Messenger. Under it, she wrote, Dear Eli, I made a new constellation. It's for you. It's not in any book, just in my heart. I see it every night. It's small, but bright, like friendship. I don't know if you can see it from Singapore. The city lights are strong, but if you look up, maybe just maybe you'll find it. I'll be here, looking at the same stars. Thinking of you? No need to reply. Just know. I remember. And I'm still your star partner. Love, Maya. She didn't send it by email. Instead, she turned it into a video. Her voice soft, the night sky behind her, the telescope focused on the stars. She uploaded it to a public science page with the title, A New Constellation for a Friend. Didn't tag Eli, didn't message him. She just let it go like a paper boat on a river, trusting the water to find its way. Weeks passed. Maya kept going to the hill. The stars stayed quiet. No reply. She didn't give up. She made more videos. The Duck Nebula, out the blanket of winter stars. Each one gentle, kind, full of wonder. Then one evening, her phone buzzed. A comment. On her first video, from a user named StarWatcherSG, it said, I saw this in my feed. I was in my apartment in Singapore, tired, looking out the window. I almost didn't click, but I did. And when I heard your voice, I cried. I've been too busy. Too far. But I never forgot the hill. I never forgot our stars. I can't see them well here, but I found your constellation on a star app. I looked up anyway. And for a moment I wasn't in the city. I was with you. Thank you for not giving up on me. I'm making a new notebook, and one day, I'm coming back to see the sky with you. Maya read it again and again. Her eyes were wet, but her heart was full. That night, she went to the hill. She didn't bring the telescope. She brought 2 blankets, 2 mugs of hot cocoa. In her notebook, she sat down, looked up and whispered, Welcome back, partner. She knew Eli couldn't hear her, but the stars did, and that was enough. This is HFY. Not about power, not about noise, but about a girl who believed the universe could carry a quiet love, who used wonder as a bridge, who kept looking up not just at the stars, but at the hope that someone, somewhere, was doing the same. Because humanity connects across distance, not with force, but with tenderness, with imagination, with the courage to say, I still believe in us. And so, under the same sky, on different parts of the earth, two friends watch the stars, not speaking, not close, but together in the quiet, together in the light, together in the endless. Beautiful dark, and somewhere a new constellation shone small, bright, and full of hope. Asterisk on the edge of Willow Lake, there was an old wooden bench. It was painted blue once, long ago, but now it was faded, with peeling paint and a small crack down the middle. Still, it had a perfect view, water like glass, trees leaning in like quiet guards, ducks gliding by in a line. This was Jenna and Kai's bench. Every Saturday after school, they'd come here. Jenna with her sketchbook, Kai with a bag of sunflower seeds. They didn't talk much, just sat, drew through seeds to the ducks, watched the clouds. Sometimes they'd see shapes in them, a dragon, a spaceship, a giant cat. Kai called it thinking time. Jenna called it peacetime. Either way, it was theirs. But 6 months ago, Kai's family moved to Germany. Not forever, they said, but for at least 3 years. His dad got a research job in Berlin. They left fast, no final visit to the bench. Just a quick hug at the bus stop and a note, I'll be back in the spring, save our spot. Jenna went to the bench every Saturday, but it felt different. She still sketched, still brought sunflower seeds. But the silence was louder now.
Ow.
Ducks didn't seem as funny. The clouds didn't make shapes anymore. She missed Kai, not in a dramatic way, not with tears every day, but in the quiet moments when she drew something cool and had no one to show it to. When a funny cloud appeared, and no one said, that one looks like a dancing potato, she wanted to message him. But what if he was busy? What if he had new friends? What if he forgot about the bench? So she stayed quiet. Weeks turned into months. Her sketchbook filled with drawings of the lake, the trees, the empty bench, but never people, just stillness. One rainy afternoon, she opened the sketchbook to a blank page. Her pencil hovered. Then she began to draw not the bench, but a letter, not with words, but with pictures. First, the bench, then 2 stick figures sitting on it. One with messy hair, her one with glasses. Kai. Then a cloud shaped like a duck wearing a hat, then a hand holding out sunflower seeds. Then a heart, simple and bold in the corner. Under it, she wrote, I still come here. The ducks miss you. I made a new cloud friend. It looks like a robot giraffe. You'd laugh. I saved your side of the bench, and I'm still saving it. Didn't send it online. Instead, she printed it, laminated it so the rain wouldn't ruin it, and taped it to the back of the bench. A message in the open. For anyone. For him if he ever came back. Then she walked away. She didn't tell anyone. Didn't post it. Just let it be. 2 months passed. Jenna still came every Saturday. The drawing stayed on the bench, weathered but clear. A few people smiled at it. One little girl drew a heart beside it in chalk dot. Then one cool morning in early spring, Jenna arrived and froze. Someone was sitting on the bench. A boy with glasses. A familiar laugh. Kai, he turned, saw her and stood up fast. Jenna, she couldn't speak. Her heart pounded. He ran over and hugged her. I came back for a visit. Dad said I could stay 2 weeks. I got your drawing. I showed it to my new friends. I told them, this is my favorite place in the world. Jenna blinked back tears. You got it? Of course I did. And I brought something. He pulled out a small sketchbook, just like hers. Inside were drawings of Berlin big. Buildings, busy streets, a park with swans, and on the last page, a blue bench by a lake. 2 figures. A duck with a hat. Under it, my thinking time. My peacetime. My home. Jenna smiled. You kept it. Always, he said. They sat on the bench that afternoon, through sunflower. Seeds. Watched the clouds. And this time, the clouds did make shapes. That one looks like a space pizza, Kai said. Jenna laughed. Only you would say that. And in that moment, the distance, the months, the miles, the silence didn't matter, because humanity knows. how to return, not with grand speeches, but with presence, with memory, with the awe, quiet courage to keep showing up. This is HFY, a girl who didn't shout, but created, who believed a drawing on a bench could say, "I remember you," who trusted that love doesn't vanish with distance it waits, and a boy far away who carried that love across oceans brought it back. Because some bonds aren't broken by time or place. They're strengthened by the simple truth. You were missed, you were saved a seat, and you were still home. So the ducks swam, the wind whispered, the sun warmed the old blue bench, and two friends sat side by side, not needing to speak. Because the silence now is full of peace, full of love, full of hope, and that was enough.